readjust the camera here. There we go. Alright, this isn't it. Okay, well, good evening, everyone. Yeah, welcome back to my Random Dreams live stream. If you've ever happened to drop by my channel or happen to stumble upon my live stream, you know, I like to just casually kind of mess around. I usually don't get too far, but I like to casually mess around in dreams and make comments about how beautiful it is, and also like to talk about games and education and cool things like that. Cool, I'm using the term loosely. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to get into editing this scene. So the last place I left off with this scene, I think this is my scene. It looks to, nope, this is my scene. I don't remember adding this. Maybe this was here the whole time? Anyway, what I had done is I had added a button to this scene, and my plan was to make it so that this button is able to enable these pieces to move. Now, there's a chance that I may not get too far in making this happen without doing a little bit more learning, as I'm still kind of, you know, learning what the pieces are. I'm still very, very brand new to Dreams, and so I've only just started to scratch the surface of some of the cool things here. But yeah, so you'll be, I guess, along with me. Hello, whoever is watching. Yay, hi. Yeah, I guess you'll be kind of along with me on the journey as I learn my way around this program. That was a lot of ums. I'm usually more articulate than that, but no, I'm not. That's a lie. Okay. So what do I want to do first? Well, let's go. I want to go to. Let's go to my play mode here. And let's see. Not sure why the cat keeps climbing up here when it's not time for that. Not that I don't love you, Mr. Cat, but I'm trying to get some stuff done here. Okay, so we're gonna go down to here, and there's our button. Okay. Now the thing I need to make sure is that the player is able to get back. I don't know what happens if the player falls off, so let's find out. Okay, so there's clearly already some sort of trigger or area at the bottom that detects when you leave the screen. So that's good. That's a good start. The other thing I wanted to take care of was making so that you didn't get stuck. Like, there's these little crevices here, and what happens is there's a crevice in here, and oops. Oh, actually, you can fall through the hole. Okay, that's cool. And I did it again. Yeah, there's just these little nooks and crannies that I'm like this one. It is an inescapable hole. What's also really cool is that her dress glows. Okay, so let's get out of here. Let's go back to edit mode here. Rewind this whole scene. I'm going to raise my camera ever so slightly, and I think I just want to put like a rock on top of that hole or something. So I'm going to go back to search, and I am going to search for, oops, I'm going to search for a rock. Just want my basic rocks. Like a tiny rock would do. This will probably be, let's take a look at my small rock cluster here. I think this is more what I want. It fits into, you know, the already established kind of motif that we've got going here. Yeah, I think it does exactly what I want it to, which is obscure that little hole. Okay, so that's step one there. So, are there any other... I mean, I'm going to go down here, take a look. You can still fall off the side. That's okay, because we have that taken care of. The thing I want to make sure and avoid is like areas where the player can get trapped but is unable to make progress either way, right? And by progress, I mean they're unable to change their situation. They get stuck. It's okay if you die. It's okay if it requires skill, but getting stuck in a game is not great. Like, I can't die, I can't progress forward. That is just frustrating. So, we want to make sure we avoid that. We've got our button here. The thing I want to do is I would like to make these things move. So, if I recall correctly, there is a way for me to give these things... let's see, and there's my properties window. Okay, so we're remembering how to do that. L1. One of the interesting problems I'm having right now in between like 3 main programs and games, like I'm doing some things in Dreams, and then I'm playing, like I was playing Iron Man VR, and then I'm playing Call of Duty, Warzone. So like each one of these things has like a unique control scheme that requires a certain amount of like, you know, muscle memory to, especially like Call of Duty, to really, to play it accurately, to play it well. And, you know, Call of Duty obviously is not very forgiving, right? Like, you don't have time to stop and think. Dreams, on the other hand, you do. But, again, like, there's little things that, you know, it's useful to be able to remember, oh, look, I can access this properties window. And so remembering these, like, okay, well, that's what this does here, but I can't, yeah, just all the different key bindings and schemes are trapped in my head. All right, so let's see what we got here. We got visible, we've got movable, we've got power, labels and ownership, collision labels, audio, physical properties. So right now I'm on the physical properties page, right? So now if I turn this, and I love the tooltips here. So when on, this group becomes physical in the place mode. It means the imp can move it, that it's affected by gravity, and so on. Note that even if the group is not movable, anything inside it will still be set to. Okay. And then there is a so there's a wire that I can add to here, so I can kind of, I guess, enable this property and check if this property is enabled, I believe, is what those are going to allow me to do. So I'm going to go ahead and close my property window here, and I just toggled movable on. And then let's go ahead and play the scene. So I have to admit, that was hilarious and not at all what I expected. This is one of the reasons why I love programming, especially teaching. So I've taught programming to younger kids, so like, you know, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. And these are the moments where programming becomes hilarious, and you can... One of the things I always say to my students is, like, computers are stupid, right? Also, there's no, like, inherent rules except for the rules that you give them. So just because something logically doesn't make sense, doesn't mean it can't happen in the computer, right? So, like, I remember I had a guy with a gun, and he was shooting out, like, these massively sized dinosaurs. And everybody's laughing, because I'm like, well, I need a bullet, let's just choose, and I found this, I was like, let's just choose a dinosaur. So you're shooting, dinosaurs are flying out, they're bigger than the screen. Everybody's laughing. And I think it's great, because, like, it makes no sense. Like, why would you ever shoot out dinosaurs out of a gun? It makes zero sense whatsoever. But it's, you know, like, it's the rules you set. And I think that's one of the things that I like to try and make clear to my students is, like, you have full control. So, you know, great power, great responsibility, and all that. So, anyway, enough with the story time. Let us rewind here. And so that was not at all what I thought was going to happen. So let's reopen my properties menu here, and let's take a look. So if I'm guessing, this is the weight of the object in the scene. And it says 8,449 kilograms. So my thought was that this would have to fall, right? It's weird that it didn't. So let's see, if I, what is it, I click and drag, oh, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. would like to change this value. Can I change this value? Oh, that is undoing and redoing. Oops, forgot about that. Alright. So I can toggle it on and off, but I don't seem to be able to change this value. Interesting. Power. That's kind of fun. Alright, so what's this? I can save. Okay. I can save the position of the thing, pin to screen. Okay. That is very nifty. That's powerful. So if I want to move all the way over here, I can, okay. Alright, so unexpected thing. Did not expect that thing to move the way it did. I'm going to close this window. I'm going to see if I think they're all clones. Oops, that was not what I wanted to do. Let's undo that. L1, we'll open our menu here. So if they're not clones, they're similar to each other, but they do not all have the same weight, apparently. But these three do, or those two did, and this one's similar. Alright, so visible. Affected by gravity. Now, the question, well, here's an interesting question. Are we able to change the value of gravity for the scene? So, I don't know. I haven't seen anything about that yet. But what I am going to do is take a look at some of these tools that I've been given. Also one of these days. What is this guy right here? Nope. Come on. Nope. Highlight that thing. Entrance activated. Okay. Is that the... This is the pillar of some sort, I guess. Okay, entrance activated. What's this? In and out. Okay. So I'm gonna just fly under here for a second and see if I see any. Basically, what I'm trying to find out is if there's a tool already on here that modifies or can modify Seeker. Not sure what that is, so let's take a look. Okay. Alright. Now it is a microchip controlling. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I move this whole canvas. There we go. It's a microchip that contains, here's some stuff about the scene. Okay, 1 bar, pulse every bar, counter. We've got selector, main, intro, outro, telephone. Interesting. What's this? End music. Okay. Cool. Well, I don't really want to change the music. What I want to see is, what's this? Okay. Some sort of music thing. Some sort of node. Okay. So these all seem to be music gizmos. Playback speed, playback properties. don't really want to mess with that. What I do want to mess with... Okay, so let's see here. Counter. Okay, we got our counter. B. Okay. Got our counter. Interesting. I don't think I need any of this, so I'm going to close this, and we're going to leave that microchip there. There's a thing down here. I guess this is the, oh, fog. That's cool. Alright. Fog machine, nifty. Alright. I don't see any tools that control gravity, so let's check this guy out once more. We're gonna go, what is this? Level exit logic. Okay. Doorway, auto guide, entrance activated. I don't think we need to mess with any of that. Alright, so I don't think that's the thing that we need to bother with per se. Let me see, how did I get there? I hit that. Okay. I like that. It's an interesting function. Okay. Alright, so let's bring up my gizmos here, and what I want to see if I can find is something that allows me to control gravity. So, tools, modes, animate, gadgets. We got under tools here. This is sculpture detail. Not quite what I want. Let's go under gadgets. Sensors, logic, movers and output, gameplay gear, cameras and lighting, connectors, sound. Well, let's take a look under start of change. We use something to happen as a result of something. Okay. Middle of the chain, processing. So I don't think we need logical conditions yet. We are looking for the doers of the gadget world. Want something to move? Okay. So let's take a look at the doers of the gadget world here. I'll drag this. Ooh, what's this? Gyroscope, mover, rotator. That's rotator. Emitter. Push. I don't need an emitter. I want gravity, or something that allows me to... Rumbler? Number displayer. Okay. Force supplier, teleporter. Let's find out more about this. We should pull things around. Okay. Interesting. All right. So this might be the guy that we want. We're going to come back to that. So, I wish I could... Alright. Alright, so let's speed this up. Let's try this one more time. Flies into the air. Now, and then like... Yeah. Now, is there something that's applying force over here that I am unaware of? Like, what would make it shoot into the air? Excuse me. Excuse me. Let's see what this. What's this? Camera bookmark. Oh, that's exciting. All right. So we're gonna rewind that. And I'm kind of curious why these things fly up in the air, but whatever. All right. So let's try our force applier here. And we're going to stamp it. Let's put it about right here-ish. Okay. And we're going to back out of that stamp, and I don't know why it was starting to rotate it. Okay, so let's take a look at its properties here. And important properties and input. Okay. So we've got force strength. This determines friction, gravity, other. Force speed. And on strokes. Local space and power. Okay. So I keep reading stuff about gravity, but how do I control gravity? That, my friends, is the question. I suppose I could look that up, right? But let's head into play mode for a second. That's not what I wanted. Possess our character. So clearly there is some sort of gravity here. Oh, and there's our because something is making this character fall. Don't know. Whoa, boy. Speaking of this character to fall, I'm gonna end up falling. Alright. Oh, and we need some way for this character to get back up to where they're supposed to be. Alright. Learning new things. I am curious where the gravity for this character comes from. Maybe gravity is on by default in the seat? Let's have a microchip here. Let's see if I can open this microchip. Alright. Oops. Alright, power up, speed amount. Alright, so controller logic. Follow behavior. Sound effects, animations, level complete, auto guide. Alright, so she's clearly got some stuff already on her. Speed power up, double jump power up, speed power up, okay. Speed boost UI graphics. Up end. I don't think I necessarily want to tweak all that stuff. So she only weighs like 2 kilograms, right? I think that's what it was. Let's see. Oops. I'm gonna reset my imp here, and I would like to. Rewind that. Where did she go? To selected. Overall movement. Okay. Lower body movement, upper body movement, structure, behavior, physical properties. Collision capsule. Oh, this is impressive. Use this to set the density of a puppet. Okay, interesting. Body structure. Don't really want to play with that. Motion sensor movement. This is really cool. We haven't even gotten to all this stuff yet. Feet slidiness. Skatiness. Huh. Movement. Walk speed. Turn speed. 2D movement. Face camera direction. Acceleration. Jump height. Gravity. Alright. Okay, so that's for the puppet. Okay. Alright, let's head back over to this guy. And let's see. I did not want to put, I did not want to do a group. Like, yeah, can we change this number? I can't drag this. This seems only to be a clickable thing. Cool properties, collision labels. Don't need any audio. Okay. Alright, so that doesn't seem to be a particularly fruitful area to go down. Alright, so let's go back to here. And so we're going to assume that this is going to be our gadget here. Now, force applier. We've got radial, all directions, or directional. I actually want directional. Specific direction. Yeah. Local space. Okay. That's radial. That's directional. I want it to be a pulling force. Okay. Alright. And now, let's see, how do we know how big this force? We change the size. Let's see, force speed, zone strokes, force strength. That's this zone shape. Alright, now it's radial. I think we want, let's do cubish, and we want it on the X. Make it go like that. It's going to affect all those things. Okay, and then, uh-oh. Alright, and we're going to, I actually do want to rotate this a little bit just so it looks a little neater. Alright, and now let's see, let's take a look at, oops, that's not what I want. Undo. Alright, now let's look at this. Okay. So, I know that I can, there we go. I don't need it to extend out that far. I don't think it's going to hurt anything, but why have all this extra, like, why take up extra space? Make it unclear, right? Let's just be as clear as we can about where this force is applying. And it can't go any smaller than that. Okay. Alright, hold on just a second. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Munchkin.
Give the phone to... Yes. Yes, give the phone to Miom or you die.
I'm in the middle of streaming my gameplay, and you are like the 2,700 people that are watching me, but... No.
I have not.
Okay. I'm going to prove it right now. Oh, yeah, that's just because the number was so big it resets itself. Yes, there was a moment, and there was also a cat going like that. Really, tiny dog? Tiny dog back in. Big dog back in. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Just handed the kid over to Mom. Go. And we're back. All right, so now we've got our force applier, and let's just go ahead and see what it does. So I'm going to hit play on this. Actually, I'm going to get out of there, and I'm going to hit play. So now, currently, it still flies up in the air. That is interesting. Now, that is weird, since we have a force modifier right here. So, let's take a look at force here, and see what strength it is. So let's see if we crank this up to 100%, what happens. And we'll run a test. Now, I am confused why it moves on its own, but okay. And why don't these guys move? Oh, because I haven't turned on movable. That's right. Alright, so we're gonna rewind here, and let's check that out again. That is interesting. So what I really want is this guy to just move downward. So what if, let's try some things here. I'm going to go, excuse me, I'm going to go into my force applier, and oops, I am clearly not. I'd really like that window to be closed for just a second. I'm going to make this a little higher. Alright, now we cover the whole thing, and let's see what happens. I'm going to hit play, and it still does that weird thing. So let's hit rewind. Let's see what the rest of them do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into each one of these, and I'm going to turn on movable. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Paint mode. That's something I haven't learned about yet. Okay. I'm going to turn on movable here. And I'm going to turn on movable here. Alright, so all these all these objects are set as movable. So my guess, based on what just happened, is that there's going to be some variation of flying and spreading out, right? So let's test it. Interesting. So that is not at all what I was hoping would happen. So, and this is if you are joining in, perhaps you're curious about programming or building things and setting conditions and logic and all this stuff. You're going, wow, things don't work the way he expects them to. So that's my life in a nutshell. But also, like, part of that happens to every programmer. Like, even maybe not with the same frequency, but there are often a lot of factors involved, and sometimes, I mean, you don't know what you don't know, right? There may be, or there are clearly other factors that are influencing how these things move, and I don't know what they are yet. But I have been able to, add some sort of force and realize that these things react to it, but not the way I expect. And so that is part of the learning process right there, which is like, here's how I think a thing is going to behave based on what I know, and then trying it, and then seeing what happens, and then going back, right? So this iterative process, this doing a thing over and over again, and each time, hopefully, you are gaining even just a tiny fraction more of knowledge about the situation, or the properties and things like that. So I'm right now at the spot where when I play it, I see that the things, they all move, just not in the manner that I expect. Okay, cool. So where do I go from here? The place I would go, I've checked the scene right now to see if there are any other objects that I am missing that perhaps are controlling gravity or something like that. I haven't checked near the end, so it might be worth taking a look at some of these right here. I don't know what this guy is. Or this guy right here. Let's see if I open it. And this is a group that is connected to. This is level exit logic. It's a microchip. We've got wires from the beginning of the scene all the way to the. Okay, cool. So I don't think I need to deal with any of that. So I'm going to get out of there. I'm going to go back to my stuff here, and I am going to go back to these properties, and I'm going to think a little bit more about these properties. One of the things that I've mentioned a couple of times is that this weight of this block, the weight of the blocks, to me might have something to do with possibly how they move. Let's mouse over movable again, and we'll say on this physical, the imp can move it, it's affected by gravity. Note that even a group, if the group is not movable, anything set inside it set to movable will still be physical. Okay. Oh, that's to trigger power. All right. So I have not found a way to change the properties of this object yet. Let's try. All right, that's just going to put them in a group, or allow me to. I don't really want to edit these things. So I'm going to get out of that. I don't really want to group them. I would like, let's see if there's a way I can make this stronger. So we're going to go to our force applier. I'm going to go to our, so we've got directional force, to repel or to attract. So what I'm hoping it'll do is pull things downward. Force speed, what's this? Force speed on strokes. Not so much what I want. Gadget scale effect. So if you increase the size of the gadget, you also increase the speed. So we've got our force strength up pretty high. What's this? Local space. An object rather than the entire scene. To me, this is on. If we turn it off, let's see what happens. Let's do some testing. Okay, we're still getting this flyaway thing. Alright, so let's rewind it. I notice one of the things that I am constantly, I'm kind of doing here is, even though I think I know how some of these things work, it never hurts to actually run through, test it, and just confirm or, you know, like refute your hypothesis, right? I think this will cause this to happen. Oh, look, it does exactly what I want. Or, oh, it didn't do at all what I want. Why is that? And this is again one of these huge parts of building conditions or logic or programming or any of that. Is obviously you want to try and get the best understanding you can of a thing as best you can, and then as you know, like, it's okay to learn something new about it. As I've said, as many people have said, you know, like, you don't know what you don't know. You you will constantly be learning about how things work, be they objects and object-oriented programming. You know, you'll learn about how methods work and specific conditions, and, you know, specific details about how they work in this case versus this case, and yeah, that's just part of learning. I got a sneeze coming out. Oh no! All right, so we changed the zone size. Excuse me. Okay. Sorry about that. We messed with the zone size. And we're going to go to, I'll recenter my imp here. A little off. Important properties. We already changed some of this. What else can we change here? Force type. Let's see what happens if I set it to push. Let's see how it behaves. Alright, so they sort of fly out that way, which is not exactly what I want. I'm going to rewind it. What I'm really looking for is I want them to go flying. I was hoping they'd get pulled down, right? Like they were going to fall out of the scene. So let's go back to our force applier here. And that was on the push. So I'm going to turn it back to pull here. And what I was really hoping is that it would pull these objects down. So let's try a thing. If I go under this scene and grab my imp, and am I moving the whole zone? What I really want to do is just move. There we go. Okay, if I increase the size of the zone, maybe it'll have more room to pull. So let's see what happens. Let's give it a play. Nope, still flying outward, which is really weird. So why would a thing be flying? It's almost as if they have some force it seems like, why are they moving that way? Is gravity negative? Or is there no gravity in the scene? Like, I'm not sure what's going on with these guys. Ow. Oh, right. Well, let's go back to my properties here. Again, I'm taking a look at this number. I do not know how to change that number. We can go behind it. That's cool. We've tried, that's moving the menu. We've tried dragging this thing. It seems to only be a turn on or turn off thing. Labels and ownership. I don't think we need particular labels. Got collision labels. Let's see, collides with. I don't have any collides with gravity or anything like that. Alright, and that's the sound. We don't need to mess with. Alright. Oh, so maybe we need to rethink our plan. Let's test one thing here. I'm going to see how this I'm going to take a look at this property. I'm going to set it to movable really quickly, and I'm going to play the same. Okay, so it doesn't fly away. And I can't change the weight of the thing, apparently. Alright, so we'll pause, rewind that, and I'm going to go back to properties. I don't really want that to be movable. I just wanted to see what was going to happen to it, and it seems to behave relatively normally. Is this one object here? Let's take a look at its properties. Alright, we'll set that one movable, see what happens. Alright, it also flies in the air. Alright, so it seems the higher the number, the less it's being affected by it. It's weirdly like it's being inversely affected by gravity, which is odd. Or gravity is like for some reason pushing it up, which is not what I expected for the world. So this thing is a fairly big object. It's 10 kilograms, and when it seems to fly off, but the one that's 2 kilograms seems to behave a lot more normal. It kind of hangs around. So let's take a look at one of these things. Just this. See, this one's 2.4. So let's test it out, see what happens here. We're going to hit play. Nothing really happens to it. Pause. We'll rewind that really quickly. And I'm going to turn off movable because I'm not really interested in having that move. I'm going to go to this guy. And we're going to go to movable. We're going to turn off movable because I'm not really interested in having him move either. Alright, so this guy, oops, that's not what I want. I want to look at this object. This one's 3 kilograms, or sorry, 3,000 kilograms. It'd be nice if I actually said the numbers correctly. Alright, play once more. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Interesting. So it seems the bigger the number, the more that they are being, I would say, pushed up, for lack of a better word. Which is weird. It's not at all how I would expect the force to work. If I deactivated this thing, let's deactivate my force applier here for a second. Power it off, and let's just see what happens apropos of no other forces on this guy. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hit play. As for some reason, that guy got shot in the air this time. Weird. Very weird. Very weird. Oh, okay. Let's jump back to my tools here. This is my preferences. Play mode. Quick save. Let's do quick save. So lose all of my stuff here. What's this video? There, what for? Into creation settings. Alright. Oh, excuse me. Tools. Tools is not what I want. Modes, animate, gadgets, guides. Let's go back to gadgets. Emitter. Emitters might be fun. particles. Yay, we're not going to play with particles yet. Okay, force applier. So that's the thing that we've got. I push and pull things around. Okay, yep, all about experimentation. Okay, so I'm going to go back to our force applier here, and oops, I'm going to close that menu there. Okay, so I'm going to turn it back on here, and I've got a pulling force, and we've set it to 100. Got our zone size. Okay, force speed. Set the speed at which you want things to be repelled or attracted. Let's increase this to 9.8 meters per second. Those of you. Alright, there we go. And we're going to... they're still getting shot like out of the cannon. Alright, which is fun, but not what I was hoping for. Okay. Now, what's this here? Nudge. Alright, so this is the zone. I actually want to take a look at force type. We've got a directional, or applied in a specific direction. Now, how can you tell the direction of the force? That is my question. It is possible that I have, this is what is a pulling force, that's fine. To radiate in all directions. That, I would think, would make things explode. Radio. Directional. Radio. Directional. Ah. Just direction. Okay. There we go. Learning new things. So, apparently having my force in some, I'll set it to about 90, so basically making gravity. Apparently having my force pull out that way, I was just sending them rocketing. So, let's see what happens. Now that I know that force, I should have set my force direction instead of, see, the more you know. Learning things, iteration, that's what it's all about. Okay, so let's get out of here. That is not out. Okay. And let's try this one more time and see what happens. Nope, don't want that. I'm going to close that. Alright, deselecting. And let's go ahead and let's play it. Alright. Getting closer. Alright, they're still kind of shooting up, but it's closer to the effect I was hoping for. Alright, so we're going to rewind that. Take a look at my force applier one more time. So we've got a pulling force downward in a direction. Let's turn it on to local space, so it'll apply maybe just to these guys right here. Let's reopen that as I'm going to change the direction ever so slightly. Let's see. Change the direction to, it looks pretty much down, right? Okay. And we'll run this experiment again. Yeah, hadn't changed a whole lot. Okay. Force plier. Okay. What's this here? Target position. To change the source position that the force emanates from. Okay. I don't necessarily need that. I've got local space turned on. Our gadget is powered up. We are, it is a pulling force. What's this? Force speed on strokes, 9.8 meters per second. Force strength. So let's drop it down to 50 and see what happens. Let's see how this plays out here. And they still kind of go flying, which is weird. Still not exactly what I expect. What I expect is them to fall. So where's the other forces being applied? That's my question. Okay. We're going to swing around here. I don't see anything else that should be applying forces. So let's go back to my force gizmo. Force applier. Alright. We drop this to 25%. Alright, let's see what happens here. There's still that one that goes psychotic. That's awesome. Force applier, so the force is still downward. Okay. Selected, that's the same menu I've been looking at. Alright. 9.8 meters per second. And the direction. It's directional. That's good. Target position, we don't need applying force. Zone size. Well, let's try something here. What if didn't need what if we don't need it to be all the way on the top? Let's see what happens if I take it off the top here. Not what I want, right? Still not quite what I want. Alright, let's try something here. I'm going to go back to our force thing. What happens if I set it to push? Let's just So the behavior hasn't radically changed, but it's still not quite what I'm looking for. Alright, so we're going to go back to a pulling force. Still got it directional, got it set it downward. I'm going to turn it off for a second here, and I'm going to re-examine what happens. Alright, pause, rewind. Let's go back to this thing. I'm going to turn it back on. About 75% there. Let's rewind it. Let's try bringing this up again. Oop. And what happens if we expand it? Just to make sure that they're not getting And the reason I'm going to try expanding it is I don't want them to get outside of the force zone. I want the force to constantly be pushing, or to be pushing them downward. Alright, so let's see what happens there. Still the same problem. Okay. And down. Well, let's try something. Just for the heck of it. Let's see what happens if it's on radial. They're just crazy on radial. It's like, I don't know. I don't know where all this force is coming from. This person just doesn't squish it or something. Okay. Let's go back to my force applier here. Back to my directional. Okay. Well, we seem to be at something of an impasse here. We've got our force object, but these things don't seem to be falling the way I expect. Now, let's try something here. I'm going to quick save my work. And I'm going to hop into one of these tutorials, one of the earlier tutorials, because I remember there being a falling bridge. So let's exit this creation for a second. Exit my creations, and I would like to go back to... Was it under learning logic? Did I get these stickers? I think I've created learning logic. This might not be exactly where I want to be yet.
This is dream shaping. Here you have the power to manifest anything you can imagine. Anything. Music,
quite a lot.
A story, a piece of art, a whole game, even something there isn't a word for yet. Create things from scratch, or remix something another dreamer has made using the dream tools. Since you're new, I'd recommend heading to the Dreams Workshop, where my friends, the Dream Crafters, will introduce you to the secrets of creation. Welcome to the Dream Shaping menu. Here you can create something brand new, browse for something to remix, or learn some techniques in the Dreams Workshop.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay, this is not quite where I want to be, so I'm going to back out here.
Now that you've had a peek into the Dreamiverse, there are some new options here in the main menu.
Ooh.
You can peruse the community jams, or take a look at your profile page.
Okay, what's this? Activity? Okay. Alright, so what I would really like to do... Oh wow. Noah Cyrus made a music video in Dreams. That's awesome. Okay, what I'd really like to do is go back to some of my tutorials so that I completed tutorials, learning logic. What's this here? Okay. go for? I'm in the wrong spot. I want... Like, there's a section for videos or something like that. I just really want to see again. What are you getting into? Let's possess. Oh. That is not what that is for. Alright, the cat is crazy. Oh, I would like to... they said there's a way to retake tutorials. What I'd really want to do is... I want to see some of my old tutorials here, because I was hoping to go back through them, because I want to take a look at one of the, how a thing was built. Right, well, I am currently not remembering how to access the section that I want to go to, and I am not sure where I found it last time. They were videos. Well, how would I find the videos? That is the question. You know, maybe I will go back into, let's go back into my creations here. I'm gonna go back into my temple level. And, let's see, what's this? Show high. So many cool pieces of stuff that I don't even know what they do. Alright, we're gonna hide that. Go to search. I wish there was a prizes recent to my creations. I'm looking for a stamp. Find videos.
This is the video library. We've got everything here. How-to videos, tutorials, masterclasses. They can all be watched while you edit, or enjoyed on their own, here in the Dreamiverse.
Well, I don't know how to access them from anywhere else. That is the only problem. Video library, I believe, is what I was looking for. So let's go... actually, I don't want the oops. I don't want the tag.
In this tutorial, you'll use logic to make health go up and go down. Oh, Cuthbert. Let's start by going into play mode. See if you can get Connie across that first gap. Oops. Sorry, Connie. I forgot to fix that. Don't worry, though. Even after falling such a long way, Connie's just fine. There's only one problem. There's no way for her to get back up. What we need is for Connie to respawn on a platform if she falls. So that's going to be our next job. First, switch back to edit mode. Remember to rewind time with L3, as we always do after play mode. In order to make Connie respawn, we're going to use a health modifier gadget. We'll use it to make the floor around the platforms lethal. Health modifiers can damage or heal anything that has a health manager. And, as luck would have it, Connie has one built into her logic. Go to the assembly menu. Open it with the square button if it's closed. Select the gadgets menu, the one with the 3 connected squares. You'll find the health modifier in the movers and output section, which is represented by a... Your imp will now be equipped with a R2 or X. Let's go ahead square. How much is it? Should be left. What happened? Tapped bridge. Switch back to edit mode and rewind time with L3. There. See what's causing it? It's that trigger zone. When Connie activates it, the bridge collapses and there's no way across. If you've finished the first logic tutorial, you'll know that the counter is being used to remember the trigger zone has been activated. If you follow the wires, you'll see there's one connected to each block. These red dots on the blocks are not gadgets. They show that a wire is connected to a setting in the block's tweak menu. Explore the logic for yourself. Or, if you want to move on and get Connie on her way, just delete the trigger zone by pressing triangle over it. That'll prevent any of the logic from activating. Then, once Connie...
Right? That's what I really wanted to see, but I want to see that... Okay, let's actually exit from here. Oh, video player. Okay. I'm going to exit my creation here. And I really would like... Oh, I leveled up. Okay, so I'm gonna get out of there. Ugh. Now, what would be super useful is to be able to go through that tutorial level again so that I can look at the logic on some of those things. I, unfortunately, do not know exactly how to do that. My initial thought was that I would just, customize, oh, okay, that's what that does. Oh, that's not what I want. My Imp Quest, activity in my aura, home space. this is the one I want to redo, because I just want to take one look at... I want to take one look at the stuff inside, but I don't know how to do that. And I don't see a way to restart it, which is too bad. And we're gonna have to look that up. Okay, well, I think we've made some very small progress, but I think we're gonna call it, at least I'm gonna call this stream, and I think that's enough for tonight. I may continue to play around with this a little bit, but well, we'll see. I'm going to do a little looking up to see if there's a way I can replay through some of these tutorials, and yeah, we'll be back later with some more dreams. Anyway, you guys have a great night, and I will see you all later.